Back to part 3 of our series, How to Get Published for Free. My name is Paul Bailey. I'm with Easytime. And if you're joining me just for now for the first time, there are 2 other videos in this series. In the first video, I walked you through why you might want to hire a publishing consultant such as myself and how I can help you. I also talked about self-publishing and why it works for most authors today. In part 2, I walked you through step by step on how to prepare your manuscript for publication and also how to take the steps to publish your book absolutely free without paying big dollars to anybody, including me. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to create a cover and how to edit that cover, and I'm going to also walk you through the process of finalizing the whole thing. Okay? So let's go back to kdp.com, where we were earlier. Excuse me. Okay, we're back at kdp.com. We're going to go ahead and sign in. And we've already got our book done. So this time I'm going to show you how to work on your cover. So we're going to go to this little button right here, and we can edit our paperback details. We can edit our paperback content. We can edit our pricing and our rights. We can request author copies, which means our wholesale copy of the book, and we can promote and advertise right through our KDP. So let's start at the very beginning with edit your paperback details, because we might want to change our cover on a particular image. So we're going to work on a book that I actually wrote called Tales of a Prophet. And you're going to have your description there, and I can see that by looking at this that I've got a run-on sentence or two. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that while I'm here and make sure that the run-on sentences aren't a case that I have to worry about. So save and continue. Now it takes a few minutes each time you do this, so don't get frustrated. Or if you do get frustrated, it's time to call and send an email to easytime@me.com, easytime@me.com, and hire myself to work as a professional publishing consultant for you and get you through this process quickly and easily. You can see I've chosen a black and white interior with white images. You can see I've chosen 5x8 for my trim size, that I don't have bleed, and that I want a glossy cover on the cover. So I can go to my cover creator and I can make any changes that I might want to make on the cover for this particular book. So as I bring up this book, you'll see what the options are that I have chosen. So I have my title here. If I wanted to do something different to that, I could change the font if I wanted to. I could change the size if I wanted to. I could do whatever I like to make that title a little bit more in my opinion. So if I wanted to add some extra verbiage to it or whatever I wanted to do, I could do that. Here I have my information about the book, my back of the book statement as we talked about earlier, and then a little bit of information about me, the author, a picture of me. And now I can preview my title, my book title. Now it's going to take a moment before it comes up because it has to run through a number of computer processes. So be patient. This is a good time to go grab a soda or a cup of coffee and just relax for a few minutes while that comes up. While it goes through this process, it's going to give me a picture of what my cover looks like. And if this is my last chance to start over if I want to do so. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and hit and it's giving me a notification that any text changes I made to the cover will not be reflected on KDP in my book details on KDP. So I would have to go back and change the book details. For example, if I changed the title from Tales of a Prophet to something else, I would have to also change that in the book details. Now, once I've got that done, I go all the way back through the process, and it wants me to check the launch previewer and make sure that there's nothing that I'm not happy with. Now, if I hit this button, it's going to take several minutes to go through this process. I just want to walk you through a couple minutes of it. I won't hold you long, but it's going to go through a number of different things in preparing your files, getting your cover ready. It's going to check everything. And this is not a human checking it. This is computer software checking it. So don't depend on this to be right. It's up to you to make sure it's right by double checking everything. Again, you're not dealing with a human here. You're dealing with a computer. So it's very important that you make sure that things look the way that you want them to look and act the way that for things that you want them to act. When you finish going through this entire process and you've saved and completed your manuscript, it's going to take between 24 and 36 hours, sometimes as long as 48 hours, for KDP to get back to you and tell you that your book has or has not been approved. If it has not been approved, it's because something in the setup that you have isn't quite right. Instead of getting frustrated, make that time to get on your email and send an email to easytime@me.com, EASYTIME@me.com. Time to hire Paul Bailey as your publishing consultant. I can solve it for you very quickly and very easily. Or feel free to stumble across as long as it takes for you to do it yourself. It's okay. Now it's checking the fonts right now to make sure that everything is good for my print-ready file. And it's checking the image quality for my front cover image to make sure that that's good. And it's going to go on checking for the next few minutes. Let me tell you also about the next steps after you get your book ready to go. You'll have an opportunity to take it live on Kindle, and when it goes live on Kindle or in print, you'll have the opportunity to buy author copies. I strongly recommend that you buy a proof copy of your book and have it sent to you. Why? Because that is what your book is going to look like when someone orders a print copy of it. It's time to take a yellow highlighter and sit down in a comfortable chair and go through your novel page by page. I like to use little sheets of paper to put into my book where there's an error that I need to correct, so I can just go back through my manuscript. If I made an error, I forgot to put an and or a the in, or maybe I used two ands in a row or two thes in a row, I can fix those issues. Maybe my editor missed it. Maybe everybody else missed it. It doesn't matter. It's my fault as a author, just like it would be yours, and it's your responsibility to fix it. So you'll be the last word on it on how to fix those things. It's generating a barcode for your ISBN right now. And as I'm saying, once you finish going through this process, then you want to order a proof copy and have it mailed to you. If you're doing an ebook, you want to go through your ebook completely, word for word, by yourself before you say, yes, let's publish it. Because just because you think you have it right doesn't necessarily mean that it is correct the way that you want it. So take the time, take the minutes, take the few more minutes, and go through that process, because you will benefit by doing it. Once you have gone through your proof copy of your book and corrected any issues that come up, then it's time to go ahead and take your book live. Once you've taken your book live, what do you do now? Well, there's several things you should do. if you're not going to hire me or someone else as a publishing consultant, then create your own website or create your own blog to talk about the book, talk about why you wrote it. Do some videos of yourself. Do some videos talking about the book. Get out there and promote that book the old-fashioned way, belly to belly, person to person, contact to contact. Visit the small stores and businesses in your community and ask them if they would be willing to carry your book, how it would work. Is it most sales through businesses like that have to be called something called guaranteed sale. What that means is you go in and you give them X number of copies of the book. They write you a check for, let's say, 10 copies. Okay, you go back in a week and you check and see how many copies they have. If they have 7 copies left, you can refill it to 10 if that's the agreement that you have with that shop. If you go back in 3 weeks and they still have all 10 copies, they may want you to pull those back and give them a check back for the wholesale price of the book, which is exactly what you will do because you want to stay in good terms with the retailers that you have. Another way to sell your book is to schedule a book signing. Arts and crafts shows around the holidays are a great way to do that. Book signings with your local bookstore. If you have a bookstore that will allow you to do a signing, walk in and ask. Ask the book manager, hey, do you guys allow independent authors to do book signings? And how does it work if you do? What percentage is that store going to get? What percentage are you, the author, going to get? I did business with a company here locally in Lake Havasu City several years ago. Their name was it's called Hastings Entertainment, and they took a specific percentage, but they allowed me to come in. They had a table for me, and I was able to sit there and sign books for any of the people who wanted to buy copies. Don't be discouraged when you go to a book signing and you only sell 20 or 30 copies of your book, because believe me when I tell you, big name authors have gone through the same issue. Stephen King tells a story of one time him going on a signing early in his career and not selling any copies. It has happened to bigger names than you and I, and it will happen to you if you do book signings from time to time. Find out about book festivals and that kind of thing in your area. Attend some of those. Make sure you can afford it, and set a budget for marketing so you don't get yourself in the red. I'm not going to carry you through this entire process because, as you can see, it's still going, and I want to end this video, but I want you to know that you can contact me, Paul Bailey, at easytimeatme.com. That's EASYTIME at me.com. And I will be happy to work as your publishing consultant with any and all of this process. While others ask for thousands of dollars, with me it's only a few hundred. So please don't hesitate to call. And if you don't need all of those services, you can work with me on an hourly basis. I have very reasonable hourly fees. Why? I'm a retired guy, and I honestly believe that authors like you and I should not have to pay the bulk of the money we're going to make on a book to some publisher or some publishing consultant either, for that matter. Thank you for joining me on this 3-video series. If you do have any questions, I've given you my email several times, easytimeatme.com. Please don't hesitate to contact me. Have a great day.